Watson Estate, late 1815. Edwina Banks was certain she would have fallen to the floor in a boneless heap, if not for the strong arm half wrapped around her midsection. She was barely aware of the movements of her own body as her feet moved to the steps of a waltz on their own accord. And they must be doing exactly that. Her brain was far too distracted by the handsome image in front of her to function well enough to command her body to move. There, no more than 6 inches from her face, was the most handsome face she'd ever set eyes on. And there wasn't even a particle of a chance her dry, stinging eyes were going to blink and cheat her from the feast they were drinking in for as much as a fraction of a second. Normally, Edwina dismissed physical appearances altogether, but not tonight. Tonight she was held captive by a chiseled face that had a square jaw, high cheekbones, pale red lips, a slim nose, arching brows, and long black lashes that surrounded a pair of the most beautiful gold-flecked brown eyes she'd ever seen. The musician's instruments grew louder, indicating the climax of the waltz. Edwina's heart sank. This was it. The final seconds of the most glorious waltz she'd ever danced. It was a pleasure, Sir Wallace Benedict, her dancing partner, said, as soon as the last note of the waltz ended. The pleasure was mine, Edwina said. The pleasure was mine. What was she saying? Since when had she taken after her brother Alex, who said the first thing that came into his head, no matter how ridiculous it sounded? She chanced a glance at Sir Wallace, and breathed a sigh of relief. At least he wasn't looking at her as if she were a simpleton. He offered her his arm. Shall I return you to Lord Sinclair? Lord Sinclair? Why would he take her back to Marcus? And why did it look as if his handsome face really had just turned to stone? Lord Sinclair, your brother. Edwina's eyes widened. If it were anyone else suggesting she was Marcus's sister, she'd be insulted. Olivia, Marcus's younger sister, was the vilest creature she'd ever had the misfortune to meet. Lord Sinclair is not my brother. Oh, I'm sorry. When he introduced us, I thought he said something about a sister. He did, Edwina confirmed, taking his proffered arm. She honestly didn't care where he led her. To the refreshment table, the little row of chairs along the back wall, or even Gretna Green. She was game to go anywhere with him at that moment. Is he your guardian, then? Sir Wallace asked. No. Why was he so concerned about her relationship with Marcus? Sir Wallace stopped walking and frowned. Then why am I taking you to him? I don't know, but when you decide, perhaps you can inform me, Edwina said with a smile. He returned her grin with the most beautiful smile she'd ever seen. Then where shall I take you? Where do you want to take me? She blushed as soon as the words were out. What had come over her? She never played the swooning debutante, so why was she doing so now? Sir Wallace reached his arm across his chest and covered her hand with his, then squeezed. For some show of affection or just reassurance, she didn't know, nor did she care.